Anyway, so we just had the Super Bowl, which a couple of years ago we didn't think would happen. Not in LA. We saw the result of that. And I don't mean the game. I mean actually people showing up to the Super Bowl and having something that big happen. So that leads right into
Not a mass to be seen.
Yeah.
They were all holding their breath, man. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I saw Ben Affleck holding his breath all right.
Yeah.
Well, Snoop Dogg held it in after he took a hit, so he was definitely holding it for a few seconds.
Snoop Dogg was awesome.
Oh, he was the best.
So that led into.
They told him not to wear. They told him not to wear the bandana, so his whole outfit
was a bandana.
Was a bandana.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just blue.
Sure.
Okay, well, some things people just lie about, like everybody in Florida all of a sudden being vaccinated, because that's what's going to happen. Like, right. Now that we're talking, like, as we're recording this today, Disney World just dropped the announcement that they were going to go maskless for fully vaccinated people. And I don't know what, when we were talking earlier, sending a group chat, not 10 minutes later, Disneyland announced the same thing, that like indoor is going to be optional. Masking indoors is going to be optional for fully vaccinated. And then I just saw right now that that Coachella, maybe I didn't mess up.
Coachella.
Yeah. That Coachella dropped all guidelines. COVID dropped all COVID-19 guidelines.
Whoa.
Or Coachella dropped all COVID-19. I can't get that right. Coachella dropped all COVID-19 guidelines, including vaccination and negative testing. And here we are. Here we are in 2022. Apparently, if you're in California today, we just don't have COVID anymore because everything's ready to go.
Except LA County.
If you're in LA County or you're in schools, COVID still wildly exists. But anywhere else, the Rona is gone, people.
So,
well, I'm here for, other than, the inconvenience it causes for you guys, I'm definitely here for kids still wearing masks. And I'm here for if anything, I'm here for the kids still wearing masks because A, I know it's not doing anything to them, and B, because of how much it's pissing off the idiots. I'm here for it, and they can keep kids masks for in perpetuity, as far as I'm concerned, until Rona is gone or until all of those kids are vaccinated. I know it's an inconvenience for you guys, but
we're headed to the mass. I don't mean this to sound a bad way, but we're headed to that mass vaccination because with the next school year, along with starting at 8:30, we're headed there with few exemptions. So we will see. But what I will also be on the front lines for is tomorrow, as I have Disney reservations for tomorrow, and let's see how that plays out since the state mandate ended today. The state mandate ended today, and Disney's policy of it goes into it goes on Thursday.
Yeah,
so there's I got the one day in between, so let's kind of see what happens there.
Buffer.
I gotta tell you, I am here for it as well. I'm also going to DCA tomorrow, and I think that the highlight of my day will be watching people get chased through indoor queues and indoor stores getting told to put their masks back on.
How many times are we going to hear tomorrow? But the state said this. I'm like, yeah, and you said this, but that doesn't take effect until tomorrow. I'm pretty convinced that today's going to be the day they figure out how do we roll this out and let guests, kind of know. Although it does still say on any kind of transportation, it does have to be worn. So we all know I usually take the bus in. I don't like the walk from the tram. And we'll get to that later. The trams. The trams are back. It's still going to be we're still going to be masked.
I mean, that's not a segue.
Well, we could. The trams. I mean,
unless you had something else to say.
You know what? I'm going to look back while you're discussing the trams because I know you guys got some stuff to say about the trams. Let me see what the notice that Disney put out actually says about their transportation with it. Let me see if trams are actually mentioned.
I actually have nothing to say about trams other than may the odds be forever in your favor.
Okay.
Yeah, it specifically says enclosed, and they have not said anything on whether or not the monorail is a part of that. And I think
right now it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
monorail's enclosed.
Well, and when it comes back on the 7th, I think the reason why is because the enclosed transportation, even in Florida falls under a federal mandate, not state mandate. So they have to, because like we all know, especially in Florida, they would drop that in a hot second. But from what I was reading somewhere, and I don't remember the source at the moment, but I was reading somewhere that the enclosed transportation falls under a federal mandate. So the trams should not be affected because they're open air.
Well, one of the places where you might have seen a source I'm looking at right now, it does say the trams and the railroad do not include that. But you know what? Anything that had been open, I don't remember. I think the last time I got it, I think that might have been like that for the railroad anyway. The last time I think I rode the railroad, I don't think I wore one. Because it's open, and we had the ones that were facing out, and I was sitting in the front row.
Well, you know what's interesting, though? That last little part of the railroad between Tomorrowland and back to Main Street is enclosed.
Yeah.
And you would think that they would be super strict about it, because we went on the Cars ride, Radiator Springs Racers, and the guy was like, oh, you have to put your mask on. And the person in the car I was with was like, why? And I go, oh, and then I said, oh, it's a pseudo indoor ride. And I swear that CM acted like he was so offended by me saying it was a pseudo indoor ride. And he said, if it goes inside, it's an indoor ride. And I'm all, ooh, dude, that's catchy. Do you think about that yourself? Is that something you guys talk about in your CM meeting? And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I didn't care. I put my mask on. You tell me to put my mask on and you work there, I will literally listen to you. I
thought it would be obvious if it goes inside that you didn't have to keep a mask on. It's just like, just like the people who thought that they wouldn't have to have a mask on for Alice in Wonderland. It's like, no, hello. It goes outside for like 2 seconds.
Well, but that's the train station. It's outdoors the whole way. But between Tomorrowland and Main Street, it does go inside for quite a bit. So.
Right, because, Pregnant the World and all that, yeah.
I feel like sometimes the rules are made up. None of it matters.
That's just how we do things nowadays.
That's the thing, though. They are literally making up rules as they go along, because this is everything that has happened in the last 2 years is unprecedented.
I was just going to say that shit. I was going to say, Gina, we haven't heard this in a long time. We're living in unprecedented times.
Well, yeah. Like, if you look back on,
I know it's cliche, but
yeah, that's why I was gonna do it in her face.
Yeah,
it's game changing.
Pandemics last 2 years, because it takes 2 years for everyone to reach, even whether it's vaccine, not vaccine, whatever, herd immunity. People die off, the rest adapt, the virus mutates, and everybody moves on. It's hitting at about 2 years, and it's starting to become very rapid. We're also hitting the time, if you remember. This time last year, March, we went from you're never going back on campus, we're going to be virtual till we die, to, hey, pack up, you're going back to school next week. Things happen super fast because the numbers decrease. We're getting out of cold and flu season, and we're starting to get into that time of year where people aren't sick as often.
And the theme parks are ramping up their events and everything.
Yeah.
I was watching something the other day that said that you cannot look up an end to an end of the Spanish flu, because there was no end to the Spanish flu. Like its worst was that 2 year period, but then there really is no you're not given an end date to this is when they said the Spanish flu pandemic or endemic or however you want to term it was over, because it's not there. It's just kind of we're at a spot where you just have to kind of go back to normal, and it looks like 2 years into this, we're there.
Happened with the bird flu in the 1960s as well. There's not this is a start date and this is an end date. It's this is a start.
It fades away.
Then it rolls out. Then it got better. They had Woodstock. Then it got worse, and then it just goes away.
The last time I think we talked was just before New Year's Eve. I think it came out on. I think it came out on New Year's Eve. So I've been to the parks a few times since then. The first time I went to the park in 2022, I went to Savvy's, and I built my lightsaber, my custom built lightsaber. I love that thing, man. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. $200 and it's worth every penny. But remember, I used my Oga's. When I was talking about using my Oga's money for that, so they had given me I had 2 reservations that they canceled and somehow gave me $75 in credit.
Wow.
So I took it. And then I had another $25 gift card that somebody else had given me. So I already had half of it in gift cards. So I just paid the other half. And dude, it's super cool. Like the way that they do it. You go and you pick like, yes, you get to custom build your own things, but the hilt that you start with is one of 4 different things. So you kind of pick which one that you want based on, like, they have some samples outside of the different parts and stuff. Then they give you a pin. Like, it's a big one too. It's probably, 2 inches tall. And you wear it, and that's how they know which one you chose. So they could give you the tray that had the different parts for your hilt. So that's how that actually works. And then they go through, and it's a whole little show talking about, how this is kind of not really a lost art, but it's gone underground because of the First Order and this and that. And then you go through, and it's cool with the lighting effects and all that when you put your crystals in. And then, Yoda says something to you. He comes over the thing, and then, like, the lights go green, and he says something. Yeah. No, it's super cool. And then everybody, they put, it's really cool, dude, because they have the blade is encased in this like little pod thing. Then they have you stick your hilt into it, and everybody does it at the same time. And then they say, okay, on the count of 3, everybody turn on your thing. So you do, and then it opens up, and everybody picks it up, and they all hold it up. It's super freaking cool. Like, it was a total experience. I did it. My brother did it. I know my kids now are going to want to do it. So I know somewhere I'm going to build another one, like down the line, because you can't turn them down for that. They helped, but it really was like, oh wow. And then, man, do they shuffle you out of there so they can clean everything? Like, you gotta get the heck out. So, but it was pretty cool. When I was there, they actually told us they didn't have any. The Doc Ondars didn't have any red or purple kyber crystals at the time. So, like, if you want that color, you should build that here and then go buy one of the green or blue ones at the store if that's what you want to do. So that's what we did. It was super cool.
Have you gone crystal hunting yet?
I mean, I bought a couple extra crystals, but I mean, I know there's the elusive black one and stuff. I'm not too hip on them.
They're still out there.
Yeah, they are. I guess the ones that have like a yellow tip on them do something with the holocron.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do that, but I don't have a holocron. I don't really have any. I think they're like $50. I don't really have an interest in that.
Yeah, so, several of the different variations, or at least if all the crystals are the same as they were when they first came out, different ones have different people talk when you plug them into the holocron. As far as the lightsabers go, it's just the colors. That's all that matters with the colors. But mostly the variations have to do with the holocron. It depends on who talks, whether it's Yoda, Obi-Wan. I think there's one that hits Ahsoka. I don't remember who else, but yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. It's just a great way to get more of my money. So, honestly.
Yeah, especially for the holocron fires.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean the crystals are cheap enough themselves. They're only like, I think $12 or $14 or something like that.
They went back down in price because they had went up to 15 at one point.
I don't think it was that expensive. Well, I'm talking with a discount too, so.
Oh.
I got the.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was higher.
I think they were 12 when they. I think they were 10 or 12, Michael, when Galaxy's had first opened.
12 sounds about right.
As high as 15 or something like that.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, after the everybody looking at the flashlights and and then the cast member standing there but still not doing anything, and that was that jump. I don't blame them. People weren't listening.
That's that shit at the beginning with the kyber crystals was crazy.
Oh, and opening the packages and everything.
Yeah, you remember us talking about it on the other podcast.
I remember seeing him there in the store.
I said it a couple times. I'm like, hey, man, why are you trying to do it that way? And then the cast member turned around and got him. And I was just like, hey, man, you should have been paying attention in the first place instead of staring off into space. But you know what I noticed, though, in the community, a lot of people just buy the custom ones on Etsy. And there's some pretty badass made ones. So, that's where everybody's going.
That's fine and all, man, but you really don't get the experience. And that really was like, the experience itself of going through that really was worth the money.
Oh yeah.
Like, because, just for the blade itself, you're going to spend $130, $140 on the hilt anyway.
At least.
Yeah, that's what they cost. Even the ones that like you see advertised like on Instagram or something, that's what they cost. Oh, this one is $200, but you can get it. Okay, yeah, but like you're paying for the experience and the show. And it's, a good 10, 15 minute show. It's not like, oh, here we're out of here. No. It's a whole storyline. Like the lady that's in, or whoever, it doesn't have to be a lady, but that's who it was when I was there, has a whole back, story of this is what this is, and here's how I do this, and blah, blah, blah. This is how it's built and done. You're not getting that with just when you pull off a Etsy. And it's heavy. It's a heavy blade. It's not, or a heavy hilt. It's not lightweight.
Yeah, that was big. The whole experience with the lightsaber building is really, I haven't actually seen it. I mean, I've seen some video, and I've pretty much heard like about 15 people tell us their story about doing it. But it's obviously a copy of, or just a variation of the wand thing at Harry Potter. And
I did that too. I'll talk about that in a minute.
The only difference between, I remember I think you told the story about doing the wand thing on other podcasts.
Did I?
But I don't know. I remember you telling some story. But the difference is that you could do the wand thing, and you can go through and listen to the wand story without actually buying a wand. They give you that moment of shame where you could just walk out without buying anything.
Oh man, okay, so I don't think I did. I didn't talk about that because I actually.
No, we talked about Ollivanders and then the store. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, but I actually went through that because I went on the 1st of January. That's when I went to Universal. I'm now a Universal pass holder too, by the way, because it was cheaper to do that than just the one day.
Definitely.
So I ended up doing that. The wait time was only like maybe 15 minutes for Ollivanders.
That's
and
pretty good.
I had asked my brothers who had been there, like, what is this? And all, oh, that's just a show for this and that. And I'm like, well, I haven't been here in 20 years, man. Let's watch the show. What the heck? If it's only, 15-minute wait and the show's only a few before we actually go into the store, let's just do that. And they're like, okay. Little known that my daughter is going to be the one that gets picked to actually do the freaking ceremony. So she went through, that. And I had already told the kids, oh, okay, like we'll get a wand, but we only need to get one. Come on, man. Like how often we're going to use this thing, do that. But then she goes through the thing and this one is like, and it's just like the movie. Like, no, not this one. It's way too powerful. This one, I wonder if it's this one. Pulls out the one and, oh, this one's made of this, blah, blah, blah. So they do, and they totally do guilt trip you into like, oh, well, yeah, this one picked for her, I'll give it to him. And like, wait a minute. What's that thing cost, man? And they're like, well, this one is interactive, so it's $59. And then like the one that's not interactive is $49. It's only $10 difference. And then, or you can get the cheap plastic ones that you can get at Walmart for like $20. And I was like, how can you not get the one that was like basically picked out for my kid, this whole ceremony she went through. So I'm like, all right. So I was like, okay, I'll get that one. And then my son throws me a look like, yeah, that one was kind of picked for her, kind of thing. So shit, boy. Okay. So, I had upgraded my pass by then too. So at least I got a discount on that. So he just wanted the regular Harry Potter one, but she got one all picked out according to her personality or whatnot. So yeah, I got suckered for at least $100.
Yeah.
So.
Those ones are pretty dope, though. I can't argue with them.
I was going around. They were going around with them to the spots where you can do the little magic, and I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I tried it too, and it was, are you gonna buy a wand, Dad? No, I'm not gonna buy a wand, dude. Like,
you're actually, like, I bought 2 of them.
I know I bought. Don't just buy one. Although before, because we looked at all of them, and I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you've ever watched Harry Potter, they had the Elder one. They actually did have that one, and it was for Grindelwald.
I have it.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Mine's the Dumbledore wand, which is the same wand.
Okay, this one is the one that's actually Grindelwald's, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool looking. Like, okay, I don't know, not today. I'll think about it. Maybe when I end up going sometime in spring break or the summertime, I'm gonna be like, all right, dude, what the heck? Just because the one looks so freaking cool.
Badass.
Yeah,
that's some badass wands in there.
I don't know. We'll see. But I did that too.
You mean this one?
Yeah, that one.
It just happens to be right here next to me.
Yeah, it just happens to be there right next to him.
Well, it is, because both of them, because she has one of the interactive ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the interactive wand thing is pretty cool. The only problem with it is not really repeat. There's no repeat fun out of it. It's like one time, cool, and then after that, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, you were saying that, and I was like, do I really need to go and do the interactive one? But then again, start thinking like, so they get you, man. It's only a $10 difference.
Yeah.
For the interactive stuff, like that's nothing.
I mean, to me, the only problem with the interactive is just the wand doesn't look as cool because it's obviously oversized because of the electronics inside or whatever's inside of it. But yeah, no, it's cool.
Anyway,
Harry Potter. That's a whole other podcast we could do on it.
Yeah,
on Harry
I
Potter.
know, right? We'll call that one the Muggle culture. I have done a whole bunch of stuff at the parks. I wanted to see if Gina wanted to throw in anything because I also ate all the foods at Lunar New Year.
I did a few things. We went to Lunar New Year. We ate a few of the things, not a whole lot, but
I ate a whole lot.
I did the tasting. I did the noodles, and you were right. The garlic noodles were better than the spicy noodles. And like, okay, I'm sorry, but like vloggers, they need to stop. Every single vlog I saw was this vlogger crying because the spiciness was too spicy. Yo, we live in Southern California. That's like a squirt of Tapatio on those things. It was like nothing. It was not that spicy at all.
Who the hell was that?
Don't even get me started on how orange chicken is never as spicy as it's supposed to be. There, I'm done.
The noodle, everybody was like, oh my gosh, these are so spicy. I mean, there was a kick to them, but man, they weren't that spicy. The flavor of the garlic noodles was better, but it was okay. I mean, the noodles were okay. The chicken that you told me about, the
spicy 3-cup.
That actually had a little bit more of a kick to it.
Did.
I can only eat the chicken part because I can't eat rice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize there was rice in it, but luckily it wasn't mixed together. So
no, it's on top. Chicken. Yeah, like a bowl.
We did order not a tasting card, but we did the regular portion of the banh mi. That banh mi was really good. It was a crusty bread. Needed a little bit more of like a dressing to it, but it was fresh. It tasted delicious. It was a great portion because it wasn't the tasting, so it was a pretty decent size. I didn't care for the boba milk tea, but I don't like tea. And I thought the boba was really chewy, and I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but the flavor was okay. Aaron liked it better because he likes tea. I did see the fish, that whole fish that you buy.
Gross.
I didn't see anybody with that.
Okay, I saw 5 people with it when I went. I just went on Sunday.
Were they all together?
One person ordered 2. It was for her and then her parents.
Oh my.
It was a large fish. Like, it was definitely enough for 2 or more people.
Like a big ass plate filled.
It was big, but she said, because somebody walked by and asked her, and I'm always like, I'm in for the chisme. And so I was listening, and somebody said, oh, was that worth it? And she said it was worth the 1 hour I stood in line to buy it. She's like, it was delicious.
Hour?
She waited an hour in line, and it was so hot this last weekend. It was like in the sun, it was a good 90, 95. So this chick waited 95 degree weather.
Is that the one at the Garden Grill?
Yes. The Garden Grill line, first off, was wrapped all the way back, and
it goes over past the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta all the time.
You cannot pre-order the fish, so you can mobile order everything else there, but you can't mobile order that fish. It is made to order. You wait in line and you'll like it. And she said it was worth it. I don't like fish, so no way was I waiting an hour in line for something I won't even eat. But she said it was great. What else did we do? Drank our way through DCA per the usual.
That's just a Saturday.
Drinks. The apple whiskey.
I still gotta try that.
So good. It's refreshing, actually, which you can't usually say about alcohol because it may be cold, but it dehydrates you. But it was really good. And that's about it. We went with some people from out of town, and so they were, on a ride hunt. We got very lucky. So on Saturday, we had a time crunch. I had to leave Disneyland on Saturday by like 1:30 at the latest. I had plans that afternoon, and we were meeting Aaron's family. So we got into the park at rope drop, And Aaron's like, I really want to ride Rise. I go, let's just pay for it. Let's check the time. Let's just pay for it. I'm fine with that. It's fine. So we check the time. They're like a 9 a.m. return. I said, perfect. I buy it. So Rise goes down immediately. And we're waiting. Oh, and his family is from out of state. They have 1 day at Disneyland, and that was going to be their rope drop ride. And so they're waiting, we're waiting, we're all waiting for this ride to go back up. And I said, the only reason why I'm going to be mad, not even my $40, which is sad, but whatever. I'm like, man, they really need to ride this ride. Like, this is what they came here for. And at 12:40, right as we're getting ready, we have to leave, Aaron checks the app, and he watched it change from temporarily unavailable to a 35-minute wait. Like that. And he goes, it's up, let's go. And we were at Jungle Cruise. Okay, why do 10-year-olds walk so fast? I didn't know this was possible, but that little girl took off, and all you saw was like fire under her feet. We couldn't keep up. I'm like running through
New Orleans Square.
Like sweating.
Been there.
55. And I'm like, I don't need to run. I have tickets. So I'm like, I'm walking. So I stopped, but they got there and they only waited 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I was really excited for them. We got on it, obviously, because we had the tickets. I got to get on it. That was our last ride before we bounced. But, man, and it was funny because there was only 3 of them and there was like 10 people in the party. And the one guy is like, should we let everyone else know? And Aaron goes, no, run. Like, don't wait for anyone. Like, you just gotta go. So that was, per the usual. Oh, and on Sunday, ESPN was at DCA for the Super Bowl. And it was interesting to see how they, there were 2 sections. You can stand up at the top where you could watch everything, or you could walk down by the water, in front of Little Mermaid, and you could be on camera. And they were throwing shirts, and they would get the crowd hyped so you could scream. And then I didn't know who any of the people were because, I don't really care. But
I probably could have told you who at least half of them were. But my question is where the hell were they broadcasting? Because I looked at ESPN at the time of the Super Bowl, and they were broadcasting nothing about the Super Bowl.
So this was
they had other programming. It must have been on ESPN 3 or something.
We found ESPN Countdown, and it was early, and they were bouncing from where they were to somewhere else. So I don't know. It could have even been the internet broadcast. I have no idea.
Probably. That would be ESPN 3 and shit would be on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But we were standing next to a CM, and she was just a regular CM, not like one of the bigwigs. And there were a ton of bigwigs. And we just started having to chat with her, and she was like, I don't even know any of these people. I'm on attractions. And I turned to her and I looked at her and I'm like, this is not the Little Mermaid. And she goes, oh my God, that's my ride. And she said all these people were trying to switch with her. And she was like, okay, I'll switch with you. And the bigwigs were like, absolutely not. You will stay here. And I told her, I said, they probably heard you don't like football. And that's why you're here, because you're not going to fangirl all over these people, because let me tell you how many people suddenly needed to sweep next to the ESPN tent or walk past, or security randomly walked by for no reason. You could tell they were not stationed there. They just happened to walk by. But we found out it was Hasselbeck. I only knew his wife from
Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah.
He used to be a quarterback. Now he's
he's an announcer.
Broadcaster, yeah. He's kind of a dipshit.
You know what? Shockingly, though, he was next to the crowd taking pictures and signing stuff for a half hour. Shocked me. Randy Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss is a huge deal. One of the probably top 10 wide receivers of all time.
Super cool dude. I didn't talk to him, but I was watching him because I was nowhere near that end. I was watching the broadcasting part. He signed shirts and threw them to the crowd. He went to the crowd because somebody had his jersey, signed it on the guy. He was hyping the crowd. He was, I mean, just honestly a super class act. I was shocked. Then there was some like total, you could tell he was a coach, you know, mildly overweight old white dude with teeth that were so white they were blinding us from 25 feet away. I have no idea what it was. Schmucky dude. Didn't do anything, never left his seat. And then there was the token woman, but Aaron said she knew her stuff, like he has watched her. Mm-hmm. He said that she was very well versed in football, and I was like, well, there's always one chick on the broadcast, and she was it. She had great hair.
She a blonde?
Aren't they all? Yeah,
I know she had a red dress on, right? I saw her stuff from there.
No, if it, you know what? I couldn't really see her because she was like where she was positioned. I could only see her head, and her hair, which is why it was beautiful.
She made a TikTok from there.
Oh, did she?
She made a TikTok with that Encanto. Like, he told me, they do the little walk. Yeah, she made one. Yeah, I saw it. ESPN posted it. Yeah,
everybody seemed like they were having a really good time. Even the employees, like, who were there, they were trading out characters. So we were there for Goofy and Mickey. And then as we were leaving, because we were like, okay, that was fun. We stayed there for a good 30, 45 minutes. There were some fans there. They were like, I was like, you need to up the security, people. This chick's crazy. Like, she was nuts. And me and Aaron were like, oh my gosh, we gotta go. But as we were leaving, Donald Duck came, and they had them all dressed up like referees and stuff.
Yeah, that looked cool.
Really cool. Yeah, I thought it was super cool. So that was like the most exciting thing. I enjoyed that because it's different. You know, you don't see that very often. And they were doing some promos when we were at Disneyland the day before over at the Millennium Falcon, and they had a bunch of their broadcasters running around, you know, pretending to do stuff. They weren't really doing anything. They would like jump in, shoot a scene, and then, you know, bounce. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was cool to see.
Yeah, so I went to kind of add on to that about a week and a half ago to Disneyland, and I went and I stood in the standby line, which is the first time that I'd stood in the standby line for Rise. I posted. And it was kind of late too. It was probably about after 7 o'clock. And I had kind of known that I wanted to ride Rise. I didn't really go. Well, I never really go with any plans, to be honest. But like, I knew like that if I do anything, that's kind of want to do that. I lean towards that way. So we had eaten at Hungry Bear, and I looked at the ride time, and I think it said 65 minutes. And even at 65 minutes, that's a decent time for Rise on a Friday night. Like, you'll wait 65 minutes. That's your typical Space Mountain kind of time. So we went over there and we got in line, and it moved pretty quick. I think we were in the pre-show before 40 minutes. And it didn't even feel like 40 minutes because the line was continuously moving. So,
which is good.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. So everything has kind of seemed like it is a longer posted wait time than it probably is. So I can't say, well, most rides are like that. There's certain ones that, you know, like, now that ride's going to be longer than it actually is.
Space Mountain is never, it is always forever. Space Mountain is forever. But, you know, I think the Rise one also has to do with how many Fast Pass tickets or Lightning Lane tickets they sell.
See, I'm still not believing that because I see people buy it. I have actually, you know, used the Genie Plus thing. And I have not seen anybody be held up completely because of that. I don't know if it's just I happen to get on a ride at a time where that's not what's happening or what, but I've never noticed a difference in anything. And you know how we've been so much that we're picky with the wait times. We don't have to wait in a long line. I don't want to wait in a long line because I know I can come back next week and do it again. I haven't seen anything like we have seen on social media of that. But then again, I'm also not there on Saturday morning. You know,
we drop and we leave around 1 or 2. So if you're rope dropping something, then the big rides go first. So cool. Immediately Rise is going to be 95 minutes immediately. Radiator Springs Racer is immediately, and Web Slingers. Those are the 3 that we've seen. Come about 11 to the time we're leaving, that's when I'm seeing the rides getting held up by the Lightning Lane stuff. And it's because they don't want Lightning Lane people to wait. So I've been keeping my eye on it, and the minute people come up from Lightning Lane, they pause the regular line and they're letting the Lightning Lane go through. As as I would want if I spent the money for it. I don't want to wait. That's the whole point of buying it. And so that's what we're seeing. So in the early morning, no, it wasn't a problem. We got on Incredicoaster in less than 5 minutes. But as those wait times increase, as those people, as we're seeing more people come in, that's when I see it start becoming an issue.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything that I've seen has kind of said like Rise is not the thing to do first thing in the morning at Rope Drop, because it does hit that 95-minute mark where later in the afternoon I'm not there. I've told you I've seen Rise vary anywhere from, yes, I do see it hit 105, 120 minutes, which I'll never wait for, but I have seen it enough times. I've just been at the wrong side of the park to be there, anywhere between 45 and 70 minutes. All of which is like, okay, I'll wait that time. I'll do 45 to 70 minutes for that ride because I know it's one of the bigger ones. I'm fine with that, but yeah, that's not a ride I think you're going to see me rope drop. Won't even do that tomorrow. I'm not going to be there for rope drop tomorrow, but I won't do that. But I will be watching the time to say, hey, like this is a good time. We should head over there, kind of thing. I'll do that. That's what I've seen. And then, yeah, I am there later at night, but remember too, I'm also there past the time Rise closes because it closes a couple hours before the park. And I've still seen those times between the time I get there, which is anywhere between like 5:30 and 7 till the end of the night. So it's doable. Like I'm still, I don't know, I'm just not there. I'm not believing all that.
I think for Rise, the secret to that is don't rope drop it. Because I've also watched the times and when you rope drop Rise, you are waiting, like you're waiting longer and you don't have to. And I tried to tell somebody that in line. I was like, listen, I'm here all the time because I heard them talking about Rise and, we were waiting for the park to open. So we were chatting and I said, here's my tip. Don't go to Rise. I said, what else do you want to do? And yeah, I know. And I was like, what else do you want to do? And they were like, oh, we want to do Space Mountain and this and this. And I said,
go do those.
I was like, here, it may be in your best interest to go in this order. And of course they rope drop Rise anyway. And I was like, all right, well, I tried.
Well, is it still at the point where like, because for the longest time it didn't even open at rope drop?
It is opening. Well, it went down the last time we were there. And before that it had been a minute, but it usually opens pretty quick, like pretty quick after.
Okay. Because it wasn't like that for the longest time. Like it wouldn't even start operating until an hour after the park opened. So to head over there was pointless. You're already wasting an hour.
Yeah, it's not opening that much later.
Okay, so that's good to know.
It's opening pretty quick after opening.
Well, that's a good thing to kind of know. I don't have to head over there right away, but it could be sometime in the morning.
Yeah, I would say like if you want to get Rise done, and also I've noticed, like Aaron and I have noticed, it goes down more in the morning than the afternoon. And I know that it didn't do that like for a while before the shutdown. It was closing down later, but like it's closed in the morning so much, and we just and from what one of the CMs was telling me, that ride is so temperamental that if you lose an ear pod, the whole ride is going down.
Well, yeah, because it's magnetic. Mm-hmm. The track is magnetic, and it's so sensitive that like if you drop that or you drop a hat or something, like it throws it off. And then the only way to get it to go again is to reset the damn thing, which takes anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, so it's super temperamental, and people aren't realizing that. So they, it'll go down.
I don't know why you just don't tell people that.
Going down for a while.
Like, hold on to your Mickey ears. You don't want to drop that shit because if you do, here goes the ride.
They've been telling people to do that since.
Well, I know they have, but you need to.
Telling people to do that. This is America. Don't tell people to do things. What are you talking about?
I can't think I've ever actually heard anybody say that. Now that I think about it.
America.
Yeah. Who've been like, hey, this is this. But you think that would lend it a little bit of like, oh, hey, you know what? This ride will shut down if something gets dropped on the thing. Please hold on to your stuff. Like, think about
it. You're not used to Indiana Jones, aren't you?
I mean, they literally tell you to hold on to your hats and glasses on Big Thunder Mountain, and does anybody do it?
No.
But that's a different story. That's just you losing it rather than you're going to shut the whole damn ride down.
It needs to be more like we need it, not.
No, because if you tell them it'll shut the ride down, they'll do it on purpose.
That's true.
Have you met teenagers?
Yeah, that's
Have you
true.
met teenagers? Dan, you teach teenagers.
Yeah.
Have you met them?
Anthony, I don't know why you're saying that because I'm like that. Never mind that. Oh, you want to tell me to do this? Yeah.
If you tell people
don't push that. That's the
throwing things
history
on the right
eraser
track
button.
is going to make it shut down. It's going to become a TikTok challenge.
You know you got that reference, Anthony. Don't touch that. That's the history eraser button. Good old Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
On the other half of that, the other park, I did a full day of tastings at California Adventure. That's literally all I went there to do. That's all I went there to do was to do the tastings. So there was a few things. Like we wanted to try the noodles, and then we ended up with the menu, and we're like, oh, let's see what else we got. And then I happened to remember that you could do the order. Well, first of all, we didn't even start there. We went over to, over by where Mike and Sully is, that Coke. What's the name of that Coke bar over there? I don't know the name
Coke
of it.
Truck?
Not the truck. There's a truck and there's a bar.
Oh, the alcohol stand.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Right there. I don't know. I always call it the Michi place because that seems like that's all they serve is micheladas over there.
Well, anyway, that's where you ordered. You ordered from there, and pickup was at the Coke truck. That's actually where the pickup was for the food. So we went there and we ordered the pork sliders, and I got pork sliders over there on Hawaiian rolls with like an apple coleslaw or something. Those were actually really good, but it was barbacoa. If you're familiar with Mexican food, it was barbacoa, but it was good. And then they had
did eat those, and I will concur. Those were probably the best things we ate the entire festival. Were those sliders? They were so good. They were
really, really good. So we had that, and we had some kind of hibiscus apple juice, which hibiscus apple juice is that's Jamaica, but that's okay. So we had that, and then we had that light sheet lemonade. That was actually really good too. And then we decided to go over to the actual festival. I had heard that you could order multiple things at one booth. So we decided to do that. Then I looked over, and everything's in front of Mermaid, by the way. Everything is in front of Mermaid.
And that's the wrong place to have it.
The little stand by the Sip and Savor Pass is right there too. And because I already knew, and we've discussed this many times.
So if it's in front of Mermaid, how crowded was it with that shit plus the ESPN shit right next to it?
I don't know about that. Gina actually was wondering about that. Was that place packed?
What, the noodle place and the food booths?
No, the
right
noodle
there?
and the noodle place and the noodle place is a little further down. They're across from where the
stuff by Little Mermaid.
The ESPN stuff. Okay, so you know how that area in front of Little Mermaid, it's like 2 levels.
Yeah.
The ESPN was down a level, and all the food is on the top level.
Okay.
So it was getting
more. So
ESPN
was on the very bottom.
Yes.
And then the food was in the middle.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the World of Color viewing area.
Right. Yeah. Directly in front of Mermaid, though, there is a food booth. There's the little pop-up holiday stand or whatever is going on. On the same level as Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
Because Mermaid actually is a ramp up, right? So on the ground level, which would be the ground level, there is a food stand there. There is that little there's a shop there that always has whatever seasonal stuff is going on. So it was the Lunar New Year stuff, which, man, that freaking Spirit jersey was selling like hotcakes when I was there.
I'll admit, the merch for Lunar New Year was really good. I looked at a few things. I decided not to buy anything, but I was looking at a few things because it was really decent merch.
Yeah, actually, my brother ended up buying the tumbler weeks before. But that day that we were there, it was packed. So that's there, and then next to that is the little like ODV, like outdoor vending type cart thing that sold the Sip and Savor Pass. And then there's another food booth directly in front of, I don't know what, there's a little tiny store right there where the aerial bathrooms are. If you come walking towards the pier, there's a small shop right there. They sell a few hats and some sweaters and stuff. Right in front of that is another booth.
Yeah, the one next to the hot dog place.
Yes. Across from the coffee cart.
To the right of it, I believe.
Yeah. No, wait.
It was if you're looking at Little Mermaid
Golden Zephyr
on the left.
No, you're going the wrong way.
It's on the right.
Yeah, it's to the. If you're looking at Mermaid, it's to the right, where the bathrooms are across from Mermaid, heading into Grizzly Creek.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
Where they have the Zootopia.
Like you said, across from the top.
Yeah, you know what? I think there is Zootopia stuff there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That must have been a clusterfuck right there.
No, it actually wasn't bad. And that was actually the shortest line. We got in that line because it was the shortest line. Say that again.
Jeez. Even with the ESPN and all that?
Well, I don't know about all that.
Must have been insane.
No, yeah, because the ESPN was so much farther down and it was on a different level. It didn't interfere with that walkway at all. It did get a little tight over there, but not as much as you'd think because the Rapids ride is closed for refurb. So there's not a lot of people going over there, and the Raya photo op didn't start till after 2. So for a good chunk of the day, that there's actually not a lot of traffic going that way.
Heads up, those bathrooms, work of art.
Like straight up sewer.
Did it?
Oh my gosh! Over there by the men and the women's bathroom.
Yeah, it gets there after a point in time. Good.
The minute you walk out.
That's because that must be where the sewer line is. The bathroom is usually fairly clean. The sewer line must be right there. Yeah.
At the bathroom, and then not a lot of people use that bathroom.
So right, that's why it's a work of art.
It's beautiful, but you've got to hold your breath when you leave or enter.
Do you know why you probably never smelled that before? Because of the smoking area.
Oh, was that a smoking area?
The smoking area used to be right there.
Where you used to go back
right around the bend.
Smoking area,
the opposite, the alternate way to walk around the. By the walls,
the smoke would waft down from there and would probably cover up the smell of the sewage.
I don't know.
You'd only smell it at night.
Yeah. Anyway,
so I don't remember ever smelling sewage over there, and I walked that way several times.
It does. I know what she's talking about, and it hits you. It wafts up onto you like as soon as you walk out of the bathrooms. But the bathrooms themselves are actually pretty clean.
Yeah,
the smoking area must have covered it up. Put it back.
Well, anyway, so that booth right there is where we ordered all our stuff, and then we happened to be in that line, and I looked over to the Sip and Savor line, and there was only 2 or 3 people in it. So I told my brother, hey, look at that line, man. There's no line for that, and there's no real line here. Why don't you let a few of these people go, and I'll buy one of those passes, because we've talked about this many times, Anthony. You plan it out right, you could save money.
Oh yeah.
Because as long as you get stuff that's like you buy stuff that costs more than
shit.
Right, and then it was $40 at the door with your discount, so everything had to be like $6.75 or something. It turned out to be something like that.
Which I'm sure is easy to do.
That's easy to do with all the portions that they had. So I bought one of those, got back in line, and I used all 6 tabs at the one spot, and I ordered the that particular booth is where they sell the 3-cup chicken, and that's where they had the macaron. So the macaron, which was delicious, by the way. It was really good. My son would like you to know that that's easily a 9 out of 10. He really liked that. And I really liked the chicken. So I ordered everything there. The CM was nice enough to charge me, because I had 7 items that I ordered and the 6 tabs. She charged me for the least expensive thing, which actually happened to be the macaron. So that's all I paid for out of pocket, on a card. And they do separate it too. Gina told me this the other day. They will pull you out of line if you're paying with a card, and they have like an iPad that they put your order in with there, and then if you're paying with tabs, you have to pay at the actual counter. So that line did keep moving. It was actually pretty efficient. She also did tell me that by the time she got to it a couple weeks later, this last weekend, that the ordering stuff at all one stuff had kind of ended, at least for the noodles. Is that what you told me?
So they no longer at the noodle booth. You could not buy anything at the noodle booth. It was pickup only. And you had one line to pick up the spicy and another line to pick up the garlic. You could not go.
Well, you couldn't order there either?
No, you could not order there. From what we saw, they took away the ordering from the noodle booth by the end, which, considering that booth was the absolute most popular of the entire festival, besides the Paradise Garden Grill booth, that being the second, probably a wise choice. I really think that Disney, so Food and Wine Festival is coming up, and that's the biggie. They need to figure out if they're going to have Paradise Garden Grill as a part of this. They need to figure it out, because
they've always had Paradise Garden Grill, and it's always been a pain in the ass, and it's always had long
lines.
This
one's really bad. This one is really, really bad.
To a level. I mean, I'm not kidding. People waited, like the lady waited an hour. That's a ridiculous amount of time to wait.
I mean, it's nothing new to me. I mean, I've the first 2 years of Food and Wine, they've had things.
It was insane.
Yeah, Michael will tell you. It's really nothing new for Paradise Garden Grill to have insane lines. because they always
just be glad that boardwalk is
they always
not
put
open.
some of the best food there. That's not part of like the that's not part of the you can't use the tabs for food there. So they put the best food there, and then they charge you for it, and then they end up with a big ass long line because the best food is there.
No, you could use the tabs there now.
Oh, see, I know that's the difference. That's why the line is longer.
Yeah, well, and here's the deal. That's fine because they had a tab portion and then they had a purchase portion, which is great. I mobile ordered my purchase portion banh mi, and it was great. And I ordered it at 8:04 when we walked in the gate. I got on there and ordered my Paradise Garden Grill because by the time
it gets long, it gets lengthy.
It was times. Like a 3-hour window later.
Well, so plus you've already said it yourself. That line is not for. Oh, yeah. It's for the fish. Let's not kid ourselves. Well, you said it yourself. The line is for the fish.
And it was also for the tasting portion. So if you wanted to use a tab at Paradise Garden Grill, you can't mobile order.
You had to stand in the same line as the fish people.
Yes.
That's bad.
I just laugh at people.
Yeah.
Don't use your tab there. Be smart. Don't use your tab there. Because if you don't want to stand in line with the fish people, then, well, it's as easy as that.
So when I was there the week before...
So all the listeners, don't stand in the fish line if you don't want to have to stand in the line for the fish.
When I was there the week before, the noodle line, which is one of the most popular things on the menu, was just to order was probably a 45-minute wait. And to pick up is faster, right? Because they had it like you order on one end and you pick up on the other. So most of the pickup stuff wasn't that bad, but the noodle one was because it's one of the more popular dishes. So we did that. I put in the order at the one, and then we went and ate that stuff. And then once we kind of had eaten that, I was like, oh, I'll go wait in the noodle line. I walked up and there wasn't a line, not to pick up. I literally was the only one in line. So I got my stuff pretty quick, and I had 4 items. I had the 2 things of noodles, I had the bulgogi short ribs, and I had the shrimp fried rice, all at this, because those are 2 booths right next to each other. So I picked up all 4 of those food items without a problem, and looked at the line. The line snaked back. Now that is next to the Zephyr. The line snaked back over to where jumping jellyfish are, in that area back over there. Wow. In fact, that line almost met the line for the pass holders, because you know how they do the key holder stuff underneath the swings? Or, no, not the swings. The swings. Yeah. Where they do the pass holder stuff. They almost met. Like the pass holder line and the line for the freaking noodles almost met in that back area behind the jellyfish. So it was pretty intense. But I got it. We didn't have a problem. The bulgogi was okay. It's like a 7 out of 10. The shrimp fried rice, it was all right. My daughter really liked the shrimp. The shrimp, I think, was better than the rice, but the rice wasn't bad. The noodles, like Gina said, I agree with her. I'm the one that told her that. The spicy ones, they weren't spicy. Like it had a little kick to it, but it wasn't that spicy.
If you like Asian food or you like Mexican food, if you like any food but like
with flavor,
I don't know, British food, it was totally a mild spice.
Every once in a while you got a little piece of it. The spicy 3-cup chicken was akin to Kung Pao chicken because it had the little red peppers in it too. Mm-hmm. That was spicier. That was way spicier than the noodles were.
To me, that was, and so because Aaron's family is Indonesian, and so he puts this Indonesian spice that comes in this jar. It's like this thick red. Just looking at the bottle makes my eyes water, and so I thought, man, these spicy noodles are gonna be they're gonna be crazy. Oh, they're okay.
No, I can't. Yes, I'm Mexican, but I actually can't handle a lot of super spicy food. My stomach just doesn't like it.
You're not like the kids. You don't put Tapatio on your flaming hot Cheetos?
That is my dad. No, but I have been there, at many a family function, and you can literally take the lid off a jar of salsa, and you're like, oh, damn, this is hot. You just know it from smelling it. This is hot.
Your eyes watering by opening the lid. Yeah.
That was not the case with the spicy Dandan noodles at all.
I felt like it was dialed
down. It is DCA.
It was dialed down for us Europeans.
Maybe. But it actually wasn't. They were good. Don't get me wrong, they were good. The garlicky ones were better. But we had all those. And then I went back for the bao because I had bought the bao too. And that was actually the most disappointing thing. The bun was like, it was all right. It was very plain. I told Gina the bao they have at Tropical Hideaway is actually better. Like
Which
go
I'm glad
over there and get the bao
Wow.
and the lumpia.
because I was gonna go waste time at the bao at Lunar Festival, and when Dan was like, "It ain't worth it," we're like, "Okay," so we pulled back on that. Did you end up getting the wings? Because we did not.
No, you told me about the
They were
wings,
not
and I'm so
good.
pissed off from the spiced wings at Christmas time, which I did talk to somebody in waiting in line for. What was I waiting in line for? I don't even remember. Might have been the bao, and I waited in line for that. It wasn't that long, but long enough. I was talking to somebody, and we had agreed that the Festival of Holidays was ass. It just was not good. It was not good.
I thought they had a
It
few.
never is.
We liked the drinks at
There's a few
Festival
things
of
that you can always
Holidays.
come across, but nah.
We did not, because we're alcoholics, so we're not, but whatever. We like our alcoholic drinks. We enjoy a cocktail. We liked them at Festival of Holidays. Didn't really like the Lunar New Year stuff. We didn't care for it at all. The wings, Aaron was super excited to eat them, and we got them, and they were so disappointing. They were chewy, they weren't crisp. The flavor was mediocre at best.
See, I trusted Aaron on that one. When you told me
Yeah,
Aaron was
he's a
disappointed, I was like, I'm
wing.
trusting Aaron with that one.
He's a bit of a wing connoisseur, so like if anybody knows wings, it'd be him. So he didn't really care for them. I was kind of bummed. I wanted to try the mango pie that they had, but when we went both times, no está aquí. There was no mango pies to be found. And I saw a review saying it was meh, so I guess I didn't miss much on that one. But yeah, the food at Lunar New Year was, I would say it was mediocre. It wasn't.
It was a lot better than
the
the holiday stuff. I would eat some of the stuff that I had. I would eat again, and there was still some stuff that I would like to try, but I just didn't get back to do it because you have to plan it out. You have to be there during the day to do that because by the time you come to the end of the day, they run out of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this, but like I got handed. You let me have the Festival of Holiday ones, and actually
Yeah.
somebody else handed us one too when we were there. None of it was available. Like I
Aw.
literally gave up. There was like I can't get anything. By the time we got over there, and it wasn't even late. It was still a few hours before park
big.
closing. It was like we're out of that. It's like, well, okay, this was a waste. Going to the park's not a waste, but trying to get like if I had just bought that, I would be pissed. Like what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
no.
would've been-
And you can't use it on alcohol, so like.
No, and that was another thing. Like, and so we can't eat too much at one time. And so for the food and wine, we're thinking about getting a tasting card, but then we're looking at how many times we want to go back because there's no way we can use one tasting card at one time. And then if you look for the reservations, they already, the weekends are pretty much gone in March. And that's the only time we go. We don't really go on a Tuesday night. So
Now it is a lot longer too. So the Food and Wine Festival, like time wise, is a lot longer. So you can get into April and still be okay. Like I need to plan mine out too because we usually do like to go a day and do that. I was always Anthony kind of knows this. I was always kind of opposed to the Sip and Savor Pass. I just kind of saw it as a waste of money. But like looking at what we got, knowing like okay, I can get this much, and there was 4 of us. It was 4 of us kind of tasting it.
The math speaks for itself.
We don't do math.
Yep.
Once the math doesn't speak for itself, then they will no longer be worth it.
But I
as
had
long
never
as the
actually
math
gone
still
through.
checks out,
I guess I had never actually gone through and actually said, I'm going to try all this. It was like, I want to try just that rather than like, I'm going to try a bunch of this stuff. So if it stays where you can order at one place whatever you want, I would do that again. Having 4 people and just picking up the tray, 3-4 items that you ordered and, picking up 4 forks as well. Okay. It kind of makes sense because I didn't feel like I was over full. Didn't really eat lunch because that was my lunch.
yeah.
So, it turned out to be okay. It worked out. I'm happy with the choices we made.
It's really good if you go. I feel that if you go with a group of people and you're all just taking people you obviously trust enough to eat off of.
Right.
If you're all just eating, if you're doing a full tasting where you get these items, you sit down, You try them together. You weigh whether or not they're good. You know, you're doing an actual food tasting.
And there was actual people that were like, "Oh, this is okay. No, I'm not into that." Like I did try the well, I don't drink milk tea obviously because of the milk, you can't drink it. But that got rated as okay, you know, us two. And then we got the parfait, the green tea parfait. We got that too, and I was like, with it, but my daughter and my brother really liked it. So they finished it. Like I tasted it and they finished it. And all of mine was family. Like it was my two kids and my brother. So, you know, we grew up eating the same the same stuff. So it wasn't going to be, I wasn't concerned about that.
The good old days when we used to go to the festival and just grow up together.
Yeah, right. So that's why we were there. I did watch the Mulan processional.
It's been 84 years.
Oh, the processional was really good. And I really I did not wait for the characters. I know you did.
I didn't wait for the characters. We happened to be sitting down just kind of in between what we were picking up, and we just happened to see them switch characters in a line that wasn't long, so we hopped over there.
Okay, yeah, we were there with people, and I really, really wanted to take my picture with the three little pigs.
Yeah.
And especially because like I do this whole like World War II propaganda unit where one of the World War II cartoons uses the three little pigs to sell Canadians war bonds. It's amazing. Anyway, I really want to take this picture because I could use it in my unit. The line was so long and it was hot and we were with people and I'm darn it.
I had just missed Mickey and Minnie. And then they brought out the three little pigs and I told my kids, come on, let's go get a picture of the three little pigs. Because of the connection to Lunar New Year, Year of the Pig and stuff, but also it's rare that they're out. I have a connection, and this is gonna sound weird. I have a connection with the three little pigs because there's a Polaroid picture of me at Disneyland when I was little, where my parents totally did that Mexican thing of like, no, we're not gonna stand in line to go take a picture of the pig. Go stand next to the pig, and we'll snap this Polaroid real quick. So I'm in the picture, and he's like totally not facing that way. So I was like, you know. 35 years later, I'm gonna come correct on this photo.
Hey, you better get a half and half.
You know what?
Yeah. So I have a picture of me there. My mom has it somewhere, and then I have a picture of me, just me, center stage, all three pigs. Everybody's facing the camera. I got to do that.
I'm gonna take that picture of you with the three little pigs. I'm gonna put it into my unit.
There you go. I think it's on my Instagram. So I did that, and then we got back from that, and we sat down. I went to go pick up another food item, and that's because the area there was like central. I don't even think we got on a ride that day. Like maybe one. Oh, we watched Philhar Magic. We're just hanging out, and then I came back from somewhere. And my daughter was like, "Dad, Tigger's over there. Let's go get in line for Tigger." Look at the line; it's still not that bad. Like maybe a 10-minute wait, if that. So I was like, oh, "Okay, we can do that." So we did that too. That's the only reason it even happened. Just so happened to be.
Sometimes the line was like super short. Like I looked over there at one point and there was like 4 people in line. I don't know what it was for. But then of course when Three Little Pigs came up, there was like a 17, hour wait
at one point it was Mickey and Minnie and the line wasn't that long. It just so happens like I just wasn't in a position to get on the line. And then they switched out the characters.
I really like them doing character meet and greets there. I don't know, like I know Encanto, Mirabelle Encanto was there. Before, and then somebody else was there before that, but I don't remember who. I don't remember who was there for Christmas. I think it was just
Luca.
It was. I think it was. There? Maybe.
Was it? But I like over there. Those bathrooms aren't as good, but they're
those are bullshit.
They're all right. The woman's bathroom is all right.
Those bathrooms smell, not the outside, the inside. They smell. Like that's not my That's not my preferred bath. Generally, if you think about it, any bathroom that's pretty near a restaurant, not going to be your first go unless it's the one on the wharf. For some reason, the wharf ones are usually pretty clean.
Yeah, that one.
No one knows it's there.
I don't think anyone knows that they're there.
Yeah.
They're kind of off the beaten path, but the ones by the Incredicoaster only in an emergency.
And the one by Flo's.
Oh yeah, the one over there is awful too.
Don't do it.
They're so bad.
The one by anyway, there's TikToks about that. You can follow me on TikTok at Danzig77 and watch those because apparently it blew up. 14K views right now, man, for DCA bathrooms. Who would imagine?
Those algorithms, who understands them?
No one. So the processional was actually it was pretty cool. Whole little story behind it too. we had gone off somewhere to do something else on the backside of the pier. I don't remember what it was. Probably picking up a Buzz Churro. That's probably what we did. But when we came back, I was like, hey, the procession's going to start right now. Let's grab a spot. I don't think I should give away. I got a little spot I always head to. I don't think I'm going to give that away here out loud, but I'll tell you guys. There's a nice little spot. I'm always able to find a spot to watch the procession when not a lot of people buy it. So any kind of parade or anything like that, it's a nice little spot. I'll tell you later. But we watched that. It was pretty cool. It was only like 3 minutes long. It's not that long. I didn't know that it goes down and then it comes back the other way. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yeah. They don't, the parade, it doesn't go through the whole park and disappear. It goes and then it does a turnaround and then it comes back.
Like the trolleys or the cable cars in San Francisco. Literally just turn it around and come back the other way.
That's all that happens now. They don't, I think it's just, honestly, I think it's really easier for them for crowd control purposes and how DCA is kind of laid out.
Well, because that lends itself to getting a whole new set of people because we cleared out. Like we cleared out because I was kind of near the beginning of it coming out of those gates next to Emotional Whirlwind. And once that was done, you don't even think about it. You just wander off. But we still have, again, that was kind of our hub, that area over there, their Paradise Garden Grill area. And we were sitting there again, getting our next round of whatever. And it became like, it's coming back this way. And I went to go get something else. And I was like, this is a whole different crowd of people. That's kind of cool. You serve twice as many people, but just having it turn around and come back the other way.
Mm-hmm. They've done that. They've done that before because the Feliz Navidad one does this. Always did the same thing.
Now that I saw that
so far, and then it would just go back.
Now that I see that, I feel better about that because like I can catch it on the go back. You know, because it's always like I got to get there, I got to find a spot. I actually like that. I'm gonna remember that for the next time. That I can actually watch that and come back the other way. What else we got? Anything good?
Real quick, since we're transitioning, the more details on the Super Bowl setup. Apparently, they were doing a 2-location thing. Some people were at the stadium, and then the others were at the resort. That was Sam Ponder was the woman. She was actually the main host.
Okay.
And the dude with the bad teeth, who I suspected, but now I'm confirmed it was Rex Ryan.
Okay, I gotta tell Aaron.
So how packed it was pretty packed, right?
Well, when we were there in the morning, it was dead. Like, cause we rolled up right after rope drop and everybody was rope dropping all the rides. And so the only ride we plan on, we were like, oh, we're going to go on Incredicoaster. We'll hit that up later. It's not going to be busy. So we moseyed over and we saw it. And I was like, oh, let's go look at it. And so when we got there, there was hardly anyone there. And in the hype section, if you wanted to be on TV, there was probably maybe 40 people over there when we got there. So the chance of you getting a t-shirt or being on camera was super high in the morning. And then as we stood there for a while, it got more and more busy. But at some point earlier in the day, I want to say by noon, they had closed up shop and they had moved, their operations to SoFi. I'm going to assume that's where they ended up because they weren't there anymore. And they were also broadcasting from Disney at some point too on Super Bowl Sunday. It just wasn't as large of a stage and a production because I saw that people who were at Disneyland were posting some stuff over there. And then, and this weekend, it was Mice Chat got involved. Okay, so I don't know what it is about me, but random people love to talk to me, which I am totally okay with because I like talking to people. So this older gentleman sat down at my table because I was sitting there alone and he started talking to me. There was some kind of race where you had to go ride all these rides.
Yeah, it's the Gumball Rally.
Gumball Rally. Yeah.
Couple years. And there's drama going on right now because of the wheelchair drama.
A couple? That's been longer than a couple. That's been going on a long time.
Yeah.
No, there's a major drama going on with Gumball right now with the disability access where somebody was like asked about, because it was kind of cheating in ways.
So what they did was the way they worded it on the website and everything, how they separated it, just pissed off almost everybody, and they're not happy with them right now. It just concluded this weekend. I have a lot of people that do that all the time, so yeah, it was a big controversy about that.
Yeah, the guy I was.
Hey, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Thank you for calling from the 1980s, Michael. You sound like you're a radio host from the 1980s.
I'm in my car.
He's on his Bluetooth. Right. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy I was talking to was like a spotter. He said he used to do it, but he felt that he was getting too old, so his grandkids are doing it. And he was just, we were sitting up by Docking Bay 7, and he was watching the Millennium Falcon. And so we started talking about it. And, yeah, they were all wearing their cute little button-down shirts, and I was like, oh, okay. So that was going on this weekend too. So there was quite a few people. It was pretty busy. I would say Disneyland on Saturday was, I don't know what they're talking about in terms of reservations. It was full. There was a lot of people there.
Everybody's just mad they can't get the top 2 keys right now.
Yeah, I was like, who's not getting a reservation? Because there was a lot of people. It was packed. A lot of tickets. A lot of people who had tickets when we were coming in the gate. A lot of day ticket holders. So Disney it's popping. And we were talking to a few people, a lot of people from out of state, Arizona, Nevada, up north mainly, because that's kind of who comes to Disneyland over world. But when we were there a few weeks ago, we ran into a family from Wisconsin. Again, people randomly strike up conversations with me.
Because you're white.
Okay.
Non-threatening.
Because you're white and you look like you're friendly. You'd be friendly to racist people. I didn't make that as a
little
insult.
Do they know.
Little do they know, exactly.
Not lefty indoctrinationist. No, I'm kidding. Right? Definitely not. My mom always said when we were lost, she never said go find somebody who works at the store. She would always be like, go find a nice lady if you get lost. Because apparently nice ladies aren't into human trafficking. And so
Little do they know.
I'm convinced as I've gotten older, I have that nice lady look. Like, people just want to this is why I got my master's in counseling. People just like to talk to me. So, talked to quite a few people, but, I think what I'm noticing a lot, and I'm hoping that I don't think it will change anything, the mask mandate lessening, but the word of Disneyland right now with its guests, key holders or day ticket holders, entitlement. The guests feel that they're entitled to whatever they want with no holds barred, no rules. And it's really shocking how many people just think that
you mean as opposed to before?
Well, I hadn't been to Disneyland in over a decade.
Because as opposed to before, what's the difference? Maybe a little bit more so, I guess. Probably. But, I mean, pass holders have always felt a sense of entitlement. I mean, they were always complaining about everything. I mean, I do it. I complained. They took away pass holder parties. We had a right to complain.
Yeah. And I get that. See, again, I had not had passes to Disney in over a decade before the shutdown. So we became pass holders again after the shutdown, because we had the money again and we live in town. Because for a long time we lived 2 hours from Disney and I just didn't want to spend money on it to have to drive 2 hours. So I don't remember what it was like pre-Rona for a long time, but I'm just shocked at the number of people who are like, well, what do you mean I can't just have this? What do you mean ears are $30? Well, they're $30. So if you don't want to spend,
yeah, that's been a trend in every theme park recently, and you know what I mean. The entitlement has grown. You know, more regular guests. You know, like in my groups, I see issues in SeaWorld. And pretty much every place I've seen other groups in Legoland have issues.
Legoland.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have to be a part of a couple of Legoland groups. But yeah, I've seen issues, and the only other place that I don't see it is actually the zoos and the safari park. Everywhere else, it's just a bunch of entitlement people. And yeah, right, man, it's been worse.
It's because they throw you to the animals.
Worse than what we've seen.
They'll throw you to hyenas if you start complaining.
It's gonna get crazy over the carousel.
No, the only complaining is like they're sleeping. They're always sleeping.
Oh.
I'm like, well, no, you're not there long enough.
Yeah.
How dare the animals sleep when you want to look at them?
Yeah, some girl came in my group and was like, I don't like it because they're always asleep. I'm like, no, they're not. Look at all these people posting videos of all of them roaming around, and you're talking about their sleep half the time.
Why is the panda facing away from me? Why is the panda facing away from me? He's eating that bamboo stick facing away from me.
I mean, they literally, when I went to the San Diego Zoo, there's literally a sign or the thing that warns you that after 4 p.m. or something, the animals will start to disappear and go to sleep. They literally tell you that will happen. So if you choose to come to the nighttime zoo, then you know that there's a chance that you're not going to see any nighttime zoo animals.
You're going to see a bat.
You'll probably see some birds in the dark.
No, the bats are on lockdown ever since COVID, actually. They still are on lockdown. That exhibit hasn't been on lockdown.
I don't want to live in this reality.
You might. I'm sure you could still see all the lizards and stuff.
Yeah.
You might be able to see the platypus at the wild animal park.
Yeah, and
it's already in the dark.
There's a lot of I see a lot of the rides are shutting down more. Then why are these shows being canceled? And I'm like, people, they're still trying to get back up to staffing. And it's not that, quote, nobody wants to work. It's that these people, when they got laid off, went and found other jobs because you have to work.
Let's just not forget that Chapek was already shutting down shows, and they were already getting rid of entertainment stuff before shutdown.
Yeah.
Shutdown was just more of a convenience to them because it gave them an excuse to not bring things back completely.
Yeah.
Because we had already seen half of the live entertainment get ended at Disneyland anyways, or the whole resort anyways. I mean, they lost half of their entertainment to Knott's.
Yeah.
Well, Knott's has been
long-running people. Billy Hill, Jesus.
Knott's had a couple of their shows for like the Peanuts stuff and even the holiday stuff close early, or they had to cancel. And they haven't really been 100% forthcoming as to why, but whatever the reason. They've had some entertainment issues too, and I know that Knott's has been having turnovers in staffing. It could also have to do with the fact that, let's say, like, Knott's is paying decently. I talked to one of the workers at Knott's, and he said he's making about $17.25 an hour, which is more than minimum wage and not bad money for entry-level Knott's Berry Farm position. Okay, great. Now let's put people screaming at them all day, every day, because they can't get their funnel cake on time. Why are the funnel cakes frozen and reheated now? Why didn't you put a sign up in the window that your pizza that you're advertising is out? Why did I have to wait? What's wrong with this? Why did the Berry Tales ride break? It's like, if
the
I
new drama, the Blue Pass now.
It's
my God!
Remember all those entitled former Disneyland Pass holders we were talking about?
Knott's.
They're all at Knott's now.
And they're complaining about this ain't Disneyland.
Yeah, and it's like, no kidding, it ain't Disneyland. You can't afford Disneyland anymore. Shh, you're at Knott's now. Go eat your Kit Kat funnel cake and shut up.
Fine, as long as they all stay away from Universal. That's because I, like Dan, just like Dan, we probably plan on getting a Universal Pass.
I was very pleased how clean it was.
We kind of would like to get passes before Lunar New Year ends, because talk about Lunar New Year, Dan, are you going to go try their noodles?
No, I'm not going to make it. I didn't even know. I'm so new to Universal.
That thing that they opened looks amazing.
I'm so new to Universal that I didn't know they did stuff like that. I happened to be there for the last week of the. I think the first time they're doing it. This is the first. Yeah, I was happened to be there for the last week of the Hula Day celebration with the Grinch and stuff. So I didn't know they did stuff. Now that I do know that they do stuff like that, I'll find a way to work it in as long as I have a pass.
They're doing it.
They did it last year, but it was small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did it last year, but it was like kind of small. But this time they had the booth ready, but then everything.
It was not even a booth. They took a whole restaurant and they turned it into the Noodle House.
Oh, did they? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I forget the name of the restaurant, but they took the whole restaurant and turned it into a Noodle House. And we've looked at the menu. My God, makes whatever you guys had at DCA probably look like baby food.
Well, I know that Universal in Florida has been killing it. I really want to visit Universal in Florida. I think I want to go to Universal in Florida more than I want to go to Disney World. But we were looking at getting passes for Universal as well. But we want to wait and see what LA does. Because I'm going to be honest, wearing a mask all day, even outside, I have no interest in that at this exact moment.
That part did suck. That part sucked.
Yeah. I think we're gonna wait, but if LA drops that, then I think we're gonna end up getting passes just because we really like what Universal has to offer, more so than Knott's even at the moment. Knott's hasn't been. I think Knott's needs to get their life together a little bit. They're having some struggles, and I love Knott's, so I hate to see that happen, but. Universal, yeah, I saw what you're talking about with the food. It looked top notch.
Oh, their food is legit, man.
Well, speaking real quick of Knott's, just to slide it in, you guys saw about the SeaWorld offer?
Oh, where you can get it for the year for teachers?
No, I meant the SeaWorld offer to buy
to buy Knott's. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, Magic Mountain's bid was higher.
Yeah, and Cedar Fair turned down Magic Mountain, and so Cedar Fair turned down. Was it Magic Mountain who wanted it?
Yeah, they put in. I think it was it 4 or 5?
Yeah, but they're going to turn down SeaWorld too, which is
SeaWorld's offer was $8 million.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. Truthfully, I like SeaWorld. I haven't been there in a long time, but I love going to SeaWorld. I think it's great. Not sure if they could run it any better, but
I think that they would take certain parks and then sell off the other parks.
Did you say 8 million?
I thought that's what I saw.
No, I thought it was 3 point.
SeaWorld's offer, I thought was $8 million.
Like with
I could be wrong.
I thought
there was something that was $8 million recently. Maybe it was something else.
It just seems kind of on the low.
On the low?
$8 million?
Yeah, no, this is what they offered.
$1 billion.
So according to this
Not
is
million.
A Mice Chat, so take this with a grain of salt. But it's a Mice Chat. And they're citing Bloomberg. So according to Bloomberg, SeaWorld has offered to pay approximately $3.4 billion with a B.
I didn't mean to say million. I meant to say billion.
Okay. Just
owner 17, but they want to buy all of Cedar Fair, including Knott's Berry Farm. So it's not just buying Knott's Berry Farm. It's essentially a takeover of Cedar Fair. So I don't know.
I don't see that happening. I just don't.
Well, it depends. And if Cedar Fair wants to liquidate or not. If Cedar Fair wants to liquidate, and if Cedar Fair doesn't want to be Cedar Fair anymore, and they all want to get their buyout and go make their millions and sit on a beach, then they'll look into doing it. But if Cedar Fair wants to remain a company, then they're going to turn them down. And I really think it's going to boil down to that. Also, with our antitrust laws and stuff, I don't know if they would be allowed to merge, and how that would work.
Well, I think that's why I would think that Knott's would want, or that SeaWorld would want to acquire certain parks and then maybe sell off the other ones. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what their whole reasoning. unless they want to expand into having bigger non-marine related parks. I don't know. I guess since the SeaWorld offer, that a private equity firm has built up a 5% stake in Cedar Fair, as if they're anticipating that there might be a bidding war.
Here's
apparently.
my question: is Cedar Fair in trouble? Like, I have not.
That was this, according to this article, which apparently is also citing Bloomberg. It says that it's that they're building the stake in Cedar Fair on the belief that if Cedar Fair does go up for sale, there might be more than one company interested in buying it. So they're also implying that they think that there might be an issue with Cedar Fair.
I wonder what's going on with them. Because I'll tell you, I just don't understand with Knott's right now. Here's what I'm confused about. They did such an amazing job during the shutdown. Like, I mean, it was amazing there. They had the food was perfect. It was delicious. It was all cooked well. It was consistent. Yes. They had staffing dialed down. They had everything, and it was so good. Now it is a freaking S show there. You go there, it is a mess. The parking situation's a mess. Cars getting stolen out of the parking lot. Not enough security. Not enough people.
That's normal.
Food. Well, but it wasn't normal for a really long time. I mean, things are getting, like, catalytic converters are going all over the place, and they are having trouble, but they could increase security. They could fix a lot of things. Their food is inconsistent, and that's what bothers me, I think, the most, because, like, I went to Knott's for their food, and when you went to Knott's, the food was always consistent, and now I'm seeing it's not consistent. Their staffing is not doing well. People who've left Knott's on several, like, groups that I'm in have said they left for different reasons, but they're not being treated well. That's what a lot of it boiled down to. So I just don't understand what happened.
There's a lot of new employees I noticed the last time I was there.
Right. And so, like, for me, you want to retain those employees and you want to treat them well because they know what they're doing and move them up to, you know, better positions of management and leadership. But here's again, what happened? I mean, Knott's went from perfection during the shutdown to literally the wild, wild west.
Because Knott's, you know, how theme parks were under, you know, a radar, you know what I mean, with the CDC and, you know, any regulations. And, you know, I'm pretty sure theme parks were visited a lot, you know, maybe had undercover people go and visit, you know, just to check on the parks doing what they say they're doing. You know what I mean? And now that, you know, because, you know, Knott's was kind of like that, you know, like firemen's used to be legit, you know what I mean? But now it's inconsistent. You know, there used to be big pieces a lot of times with the half chicken, and now it's like sometimes you get the scrawny, skinny ones to the point where it's sold out.
Now. You're eating a Cornish game hen when you get it's a half Cornish game hen. It's this big.
Yeah, pretty much.
The problem is that Knott's was used to dealing with a certain amount of people and a certain echelon of people, let's just say, and then now that amount of people and the echelon of people has changed dramatically once again, you know, with the absorption of all of the let's just say
Disney
the lesser
drama.
the lesser of the former Disneyland pass holders, as we spoke of before.
Yep.
I think that Cedar Fair, once again, we've mentioned now before how Cedar Fair Knott's is an afterthought for them because it's not what they do, and that I think that if for some reason, it's probably not going to happen, but if for some reason Cedar Fair was bought by SeaWorld, at least I consider SeaWorld to be a little bit more in the theme park business than Cedar Fair is. So there's that.
A lot of
plus SeaWorld only has 6 parks, as opposed to, you know, that's not really that many. So they wouldn't be expanding by like a lot. It would be enough. They would give them more than probably Six Flags.
Just mostly concentrating on the East Coast.
Right.
Yeah, because like Cedar Fair mostly deals with part-time parks. aside
That-
from
yes.
one that's up north in California. Most of them are back east, and most of the parks out there close for the winter because you're not riding a roller coaster in a blizzard. So I just, when the Knott family sold, there was a hiccup. Like Knott's kind of dipped a little bit after that, but then they figured it out and they came back and they were doing great. Then they killed it with the shutdown, and now I feel like it's right after the Knott family sold and Cedar Fair is struggling again. And I'm like, what happened? Like, bring back the guys and the girls and the people who did the shutdown stuff because they were on it, and get your people trained and take care of your employees. And I know that that's not really fashionable right now. I know that it's not fashionable to take care of your employees because there's this whole thought like you should just be happy to have a job. Except no, because minimum wage jobs specifically are literally everywhere. Like you're tripping over minimum wage jobs. So if you're at Knott's Berry Farm getting treated like absolute trash, you can go to a variety of other places and be
Especially
treated.
if you're vaccinated. Especially if you're vaccinated.
Yeah, I mean, but even if you're not, there's enough places. Like there is an ass for every seat. And so if your business is, if you're in the position where you're mostly hiring a minimum wage workforce, what are you doing to retain those employees? Because they'll leave. People work at Knott's because they want to. Like I got my job at Knott's because I was like, oh, I love it here. I love Knott's. I love the food. I like rides. I want to work here. And it was a great job and I loved it. Same reason why my friends worked at Disney. They didn't go to Disney. Disney was a hassle to work at in the 90s. Like, I don't know if it's still like that, but like you had to park far away, you had to get there super early, couldn't take your work costumes home. Like, you worked there because you wanted to work for Disney. You worked at Knott's because you wanted to work for Knott's. If you didn't have a loyalty, then you worked at Taco Bell next to your house and it was like way easier. So like Knott's needs to step it up because I'm really disappointed. And I'm disappointed to hear that their employees don't feel valued. Like that, I think, same with Disney. If Disney isn't valuing their employees, then that makes me feel sad because you're nothing without your employees. At least that's how I feel about it.
It's just a new era in the theme parks and the way people are, you know what I mean, their attitudes and, it just, unfortunately, the way, I say, like I tell people ever since 2015, the attitudes and the bitchiness and the entitlement has gotten worse, from pass holders to regular guests, and, social media made people lazy to the point where, nonstop, like when I'm at SeaWorld, nonstop they're looking for an employee or trying to ask somebody, hey, do you know where this is on an app or somebody's trying to explain something because they have no shit clue of what's going on to, even to the point where, in every single theme park group, they're like, do they still have any hand maps where I can grab and walk around with this paper? Because they're even like, see, well, now it's just a QR code. Scan it and then it takes you to the app, download it, and that's how, or a quick link and it'll show the app and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? And a lot of my friends, from that work at Knott's, SeaWorld, my brothers in Magic, a lot of them are just tired of the bullshit. A lot of people opened their eyes during the pandemic and was just sick of it. One of my friends, he was working in DCA for 10 years. He wasn't going to be an ass kisser to get higher. So he ended up leaving. He was like, I'm done with this crap. I'm done with the same old bullshit, guest. He ended up being an assistant manager of a hotel and making a shitload of my money, 4K and everything. He's straight. And he's like, I don't know why I should have done this earlier. He goes, I'm not kissing nobody's ass. I'm not fighting for nobody's position. And, obviously we know that that's the way, theme parks are, especially with Disneyland, it's an ass kissing system. But, the rudeness, especially with the disability, I don't care what theme park it is, I think that Universal does take care of it. Right now they're in the lead. I've always explained that, ever since the pandemic, they've been taking over since Disney. Disney thought that they were in the tops, but no, I'm sorry, with their little difficulties and issues that they've been having, and especially that the fact that Universal has about to talk shit and they backed it up. The food is great. The only thing I don't like, and it's maybe me and some of the older people, that eventually it gets time where you ride all those simulators, you need to take a break. You'll get dizzy as shit. I read, Harry Potter 4 times in a row, and I almost was like gone, threw up, and it was a game over. I couldn't do the rest of the day.
Hey, that front of the line pass at Six Flags is the same thing.
Yeah.
It messes with your vertigo so much, so you're like, dude, I can't do this. Ride 3 rides, and you're like, I kind of feel sick. I need to sit down.
Well, and
you have to.
big VR, and now at my age now, if I ride too many VR rides in a row, it's not going to happen. I need to be very mindful of the VR rides that I am riding and what I'm doing in between them. If I went from a VR to a VR to a VR, I'm just get me a wheelchair and wheel me back to the car.
And you got Mario Kart with 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Hey, at least I was gonna say at least Harry Potter doesn't have the glasses anymore.
Hey, I almost got
gross out with that.
The glasses.
I almost couldn't get on that ride, being the portly gentleman that I am. I had to really squeeze into that thing to get it to shut, but
Universal
I had to get pushed.
Is
and
not fluffy friendly.
No, and Universal has the distinction of okay, you can say whatever you want to about theme park food, but for the most part, I know I'm going to a theme park. Some stuff is better than others. I'm going to be honest, I really don't expect much. It's a theme park. I expect as much as I expect out of a ballpark. But Universal has the distinction of the worst salad I've ever actually had. And my daughter had it. The croutons it was bread. It was bread. There's no crunchiness to it. It was really, I don't know why, looking back, I don't know why I didn't take that salad back and be like, I'm not eating this. And she's not going to eat this. Because it was like, it wasn't even mediocre. It just was not this isn't good.
Yeah, don't get fat, is there?
No. And she thought, I'm going to get a chicken Caesar salad. It sounded good, but she was like, this is like not good.
And yet at the same time, Harry Potter, you'll eat the best food you've ever eaten at any theme park ever.
Yes, and get your money's worth.
The whole Harry Potter area at Universal is kind of that's the catalyst for me getting a pass. Like I could go there and just never leave the Harry Potter area, and that's what I want to do. And
I think that's what my brother wants to do next time we go.
Is just
hang out at 3 broomsticks all day.
Yeah, I want to go try all of that. I want to try every different kind of butterbeer imaginable. I want to go and try the different foods out. I want to get a wand. I want to play the thingies. I want to
and you can dress up without worrying about it.
Yeah, yes. I wear my little Slytherin outfit with pride, and my husband in a little Hufflepuff gear.
No, I saw a video a couple weeks ago of a couple of people. One of them dressed like Snape, and one of them dressed like somebody else who got escorted out of the park. It was too much. But you can go buy your robes.
You can't go exact character, but the robes are good. Yeah.
You can do the bounding. You can wear their little cape that they sell, but
Gina, just buy a patch and wear your graduation gown. It's the same shit.
It's very similar.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
But that's what Universal has a lot. They have a lot going for them. It looks like a good time. The park looks clean. I haven't heard a lot of complaints. I just quite frankly, I'm not kidding. I have no interest in going and walking around with the mask the entire time I'm there. So I'm kind of waiting for LA to.
Plenty of people. Let's just say plenty of people had a drink in their hand all day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were sipping. It was a slow sip, like on the plane when they were eating.
I bought some KN95 masks, and which are the Korean knockoff of the N95.
Yeah.
Is that what the KN stands for? Korean knockoff?
Basically. It has, the pointed end like this. I find that a lot easier to walk around because you have more of a, no, not like that. It's the pointed. No. They're like, it's like, it's a super point.
It comes off your mouth. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. My brother uses this. Yeah.
We went to a con, a small little con this last Sunday that was just basically just a dealer room and then some people signing. But then the next day we went to the Reagan Library because we were nearby and I'd always wanted to see the plane that's there. And I found walking around with the KN95 with the, more space to breathe into. You don't have that immediate where it's right by your mouth and you're immediately feeling the wetness start to build up as you're outside. I found it much easier with those style. So if you, I know you don't want to have to wear a mask at all, But if you're gonna try wearing those at like your theme park trips and see how much better those are for you, because I have huge troubles with masks. Because I breathe through my mouth, and I get the wetness and all that, and I usually going places, I take 3 masks with me normally, but I find with those masks with the style that it's a lot easier on you, and your endurance is higher with those than with a regular standard cloth mask. So maybe give that a shot, and you might find it a little bit easier on you, because I know I found it easier. And I know that if I go to a theme park, and we're still in mask times, that, I'll probably make sure I take a couple with me. But, just a suggestion.
Thank you. Yeah, I know, like, for me, I can't really wear cloth masks unless it's an in and out thing. Like, I bring them, but I teach all day in them and I lecture in them. So I change them after every class period sometimes if I'm lecturing all day long. Because it's just, and I think that's why I'm just over them, because I have to lecture in them for 5 hours a day sometimes. And I'm just done. I'm like, I can't do that, especially if I'm outside. I'm like, I can't do it. So I think for me, it's just exhausting for me, but it is what it is. And so, if I go, and they still have a mandate, then of course, I'll abide by it. I just that's what's making me not go to Universal right now. Is LA County is it's just a bit strict, but I've been going to Disney and abiding by theirs. I put my mask on in the indoor rides, no problem, no question. It's not my favorite, but I'll do it because like I say, I'm not going to not wear it, because a 25-year-old employee should not have to tell a grown woman to stick to the rules. Like, that's ridiculous.
Well, shall we start wrapping this up?
That's good.
Somebody that's on vacation could use a little nap before softball practice. Sounding kind of good right now.
My is pacing, looking at me like, it's dinner time for us.
Yeah.
It's like, I laugh thumbs. So
my daughter has a meeting at her school till almost 4:30. So when I do go and pick her up later from her after school meeting, I know I'm gonna have to come back with dinner because I'm gonna go to practice at 6:30. So yeah, it's dinner time. But anybody last kind of things? As I say this and as we record this, I'll actually be at the parks twice this week. I'll be there tomorrow and I'll be there on Friday. I don't have anything else booked right away. I have a date on our spring break, but I know I'll probably pop in at least another time or two before then too. Because it's not that hard to get reservations right now.
It's not, and even though they are booked on reservations, like they just released a whole bunch for Saturday and Sunday, so they come up all the time. I'm going tomorrow. I got lamplight brunch reservations, and I somehow scored a Trader Sam's. Those things, there is no rhyme or reason to a Trader Sam's reservation. They literally just pop up when they feel like it. So I was pretty excited about that. And then we are going on the 12th for Aaron's birthday, and I booked Plaza Inn dining for breakfast. We got a Oga's reservation at noonish for some noon stuff, because that's Aaron's favorite place of all times is Oga's. He could live there. And then I want to say I got a lamplight afternoon or something. I don't know. But, my thing is eating and drinking at the restaurants. It's like, I love it. I always try to find something new.
Hey, I always ask any place for a secret menu that, you always find something that one cast member might not know, then another do know, or, something that, sometimes, especially at the Lap Night Lounge, they'll create something for the month and you don't know it. And then if you say something, they'll suggest something that, you never tried.
There is a Mexican candy drink.
Yeah.
That everyone's getting. It's not my flavors. It's not something that I'm into, but that's a new one. Yeah, I always ask at Lamplight, if they have anything new. And most of the people at Lamplight are super cool, like the waiters and waitresses.
Yeah.
We've been there a few times, but I'm very, I don't go unless I can over tip. That's kind of my rules. So try to throw them a little extra when they suggest drinks we haven't had before. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And then, yeah, I'm going to probably try to go during spring break 1 or 2 times. We'll see.
Probably be just go to Knott's, couple times. SeaWorld, I'm going for before the park opens to ride the new Emperor. I got one of the VIP tickets, so I'll be probably going on Thursday in the first weekend of March to see how that goes. That's pretty much it. I was going to get SoCal tickets, but in the end, I'm just going to save that money for myself. My daughter, my girl's going to get them. But it's a waste because my back and I can't last all day at Disneyland. As much as I want to go to Disneyland, it's not worth the money.
Yeah.
We've been looking at going to Universal Studios because, my girl's a big Harry Potter fan. I've been going to Universal Studios since I worked there around the same time Ratman did and didn't even know it.
Yep.
I know we're done, but for the Knott's people, check out Pass Perks. It's a loyalty reward program, and it's finally coming to Knott's.
I thought it already launched. It's just hardly anybody. I posted it a couple times, but even with the email sign up, but nobody just.
It's just
they don't know the TikTok algorithm.
It says it's starting on March 2nd.
Okay, makes sense.
It's coming on March 2nd.
Dan, you never actually talked about the return of the trams.
Oh yeah, hey guys, the trams are coming back. There you go.
Or the trailer for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, there was a lot we didn't touch. We got all over the place with this one.
I will probably end up still walking through downtown Disney in the morning when there's 7 bazillion people trying to get on a tram. But since I leave the park so early, I'll probably take the tram back.
We've said many times where I park, it's not the Pixar Pier or Pixar Pals parking lot. It's not there, so it actually means very little to me that they're coming back.
Yeah, I can't get
to
Aaron
USA
to go
suckers.
To Toy Story. I can't get him to go to Toy Story parking lot. I keep trying to tell him, and he's a creature of habit, and he's used to parking.
Tell him it's the lot of all lots. Once he gets there and does it, he'll be hooked.
You can't, all those right turns, man. Right turn, right turn, right turn. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I've parked there myself. Like I've gone there a few times by myself, parked, jumped on a bus, in and out super quick. But I think for him, we've heard a lot of there's some long lines sometimes that happen and back up, and I think Aaron doesn't
if you go there like I do before the damn gates open.
Yeah,
you're good. No, you're good. You're good. I used to get there an hour before the gates are open, and I'm sitting there with another car just blazing it. Cop comes up, and the gates are still not open, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing, Michael? They're so damn early." I was like, "I just up and took off, But no, around a good half an hour or so, it's easy to get on the bus. But after that hour or so, that's when it starts filling up, and then the security lags it on the back check. And then that line goes down to near the bathrooms. And yeah, it can get hectic, but it's, because I noticed that when it comes to theme parks in the mornings, it's not as bad. A lot of late bloomers after 10:30. It just,
shit, me tomorrow.
5 o'clock at night, then you buzz in, buzz out, you're good.
Me tomorrow. As long as you could do the bag check in the parking lot. I do actually like the bag check in the parking lot. It's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, you just walk right in that gate.
Yeah.
The downtown Disney bag check is there's hardly anyone ever going through it. So we just walk over by the hotel. It doesn't even take that long, but
you know why? Because that's the biggest assholes of security are in that back check area. That's why nobody likes going there.
They've always been. You know what? I walk in, my bag is open, ready to go. My stuff's out of my pockets. I know what they need. I give it to them. They're cool with me.
That's you. That's like a less than 2% that I
pretty
know
soon.
That.
Are you even going to be able to go that way pretty soon when they start working down there?
Yeah, I think they're going to move. It looks like they're going to move the bag check area to the ESPN side, which is better because it's closer. But yeah, I think that and this is what I don't understand. You go to Disneyland and you're walking at least a half a marathon. At least a half marathon. Why are you complaining about a tram walk? I don't get it. Maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's your first ride when you get there, but all I remember about the trams is that they're crowded, nobody can work their strollers, and it's just another
because they consider it an attraction.
At the end of the day, everybody's tired of walking around all day, so you want that time to sit down. Yeah,
the way
that's
back,
what it is.
I get that way back to your car can be kind of long, but you've already walked so much. I do understand it for people who are disabled. Like, if you have a disability, totally get it. That's different. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about able-bodied Disney goers who are already walking a half marathon. Like, I've never seen so many posts. There were more posts about the trams coming back than the mask mandate getting lifted.
Hey, them Disney feet, them Disney legs, them the chortle in between the legs after the late night water rides, they're real. Let me tell you, and if you're gonna try to walk, and I've done it a lot back in the days when I used to go splash around late at night, we'd be like, okay, let's do this. Or, Dan knows we used to go to the park when raining as hell, and we have
Still
to walk
did,
back
bro.
to the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Shape.
And
it's that shape.
Yeah, that
Disney rash, though.
let me tell you, I got like Dan knows and everybody knows. I'm prepared. I got socks, I got boxers, I got the Vaseline.
This guy looks like he's moving in.
Or in my backpack just in case.
He's gonna stay in the Haunted Mansion overnight.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Hey, hold on. I didn't carry any of his unmentionables, and I ended up with a Spirit jersey, so that's kind of how that goes.
Oh, hey, Dan, it's going to be chilly enough tomorrow. You may want to bust out that.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking a little while ago, I got to wash it. It was in the back. It's sitting in the back of the truck since my last trip, because the last trip I took, I had that and a jacket, and I was like, hey, I'll decide when I get there, and it was cold enough for a jacket. Tomorrow may actually be cold enough for a jacket.
Maybe.
So,
it depends. See. The weather keeps changing. It went from 75. Now we're looking at 70. If it dips down a little lower, then that's jacket weather. But it may be just Spirit jersey weather.
Well, part of that dipping stuff is the reason I need a nap right now, because I'm feeling it. My allergies are kicking in.
You go take your nap.
So, all right, guys. It sounds good.
This
Doctor Strange.
It's going to be 65 tomorrow in Anaheim.
Doctor Strange we'll get into next time, because I'm going to be honest with you, I got up and got some hot wings. I missed that commercial on the Super Bowl. So...
just a note that you may want to watch both, because the commercial that plays during the Super Bowl is different than the one that's on the trailer that's online.
Sounds good.
There's different stuff.
Okay. Sounds good.
You should watch both.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Jim Carrey, cable guy, hilarious.
All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Have a good one.